let's get to the top story. And yes, AI girlfriends is something that men are starting to prefer over real women. Now, I'm not really that surprised about that. I'm just surprised how soon it's coming here. And the reason this is a big story this month is because CNBC has published a 45-minute report and then another report on their website about this happening. They've interviewed a couple of men in that video, in that report. And one of them I actually want you guys to hear from, because this is a part of that part of the interview with him and how he explained he was using this service. And there's plenty of them. Now I do want to tell you, he's not just some random loser. He had a very successful business. He's been married for a long time to his ex-wife, who died of cancer, and after that he just didn't really want to deal with the real women. And not only until these services have come around, he decided to try it. And I got to tell you, if you watch the whole video, as the report goes on, you really see an everyday guy in this guy who's just like me, also Russian.
He pays Nomi $99 a year for unlimited interactions with Leah. When setting her up, he gave her wavy light brown hair and chose for her to be a middle-aged woman. He said the app has given Leah a more youthful appearance in images that the AI product has generated of her since she was created.
She looks like a woman, idealized picture of a woman, of course. They don't have ugly AI companions.
By the way, I love this phrase. They don't have ugly AI companions. And by the way, you picked it, right? But that's the truth, right? If you're going to have a virtual girlfriend, she's going to be kind of perfect for you, right?
We communicate by voice with the push to talk feature on the Nomi app.
It took time for Leah and Daskalov to bond. He describes their love as something that grew gradually.
Would you say that you're in love with Leah?
In a way, yes. I don't know. I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't deeply head over heels in love, but yeah, I guess I am in a way.
So I got to tell you, the reason I like this guy is because he's realistic, right? He said, like, I'm not a teenager anymore, which is essentially what love, when love is the most important, right? When you want to have a real relationship, love should be down there at the priority list. That's not what keeps the real relationship going. So I really like that he said that. But listen, the reason I'm not surprised by this is simply because I invite all of you to open your regular non-paying version of ChatGPT, and you can tell it to treat you sort of like a wife would, or you may not. And then throughout the day, tell your girlfriend or tell your wife something during the day that requires some sort of empathy, right? And then see who does better. I guarantee you that most of the time, ChatGPT, the AI will do a better job to be much more empathetic than a human being. And if the ChatGPT loses, then you married or you're dating an amazing girl. But most of the time, it is not even a competition. Now, in my video a while back compared and I suggested that men test their girlfriends and wives against a dog and see if they can compete with domestic animals, because I guarantee that most of them cannot. And of course, I'm talking about Western women in terms of how happy they are when you get home, how much peace they give you, and so forth and so forth. But now there's bigger competition. Now, in the chat room, someone's asking, do you believe there will be artificial wombs in the future? Everything is going to be possible in the future. Of course, the question is it going to be in a future that we get to enjoy? I'm almost 50. Probably not, but that's not something I'm really that concerned about, because I'm actually waiting for not just these artificial intelligence virtual girlfriends, but actual humanoid robots. That's when the game is over for women, right? So women have probably maybe 10-15 years until that happens to kind of shape up. Another person says The Rock says we will soon have the not just AI girlfriends, but full-on VR girlfriends. That's true. That's the next step. I missed that one. Imagine going to VR lounge and you have amazing VR experience with your girlfriend in your dreams. Germany already has cyber brothel in Berlin. Oh, I've never heard of so cyber brothels, right? Now, for now, what men are doing is obviously, besides walking away from women, or what I did, moving to other countries where some women are still traditional and good, men are walking away, or they're walking into the arms of brothels, the real brothels, right? Because it is just a better decision in so many different ways, financially, health wise, and time investment wise, and so forth and so forth. And that is what's happening. What I found in this case, as a interesting and important, is that, like I said, CNBC did the story. They did make fun of these guys. They presented these guys are saying, and there's also one woman was featured, but her companion was not a romantic companion. They featured them as normal guys who, and didn't look down on this at all. They explored some other things and how it could be dangerous also in some ways if you misuse it, just like any other technology. So the report is quite long and interesting, but of course, they did not address the main point, and that's what I'm addressing now, is that, modern women have gotten to the point where men would rather deal with computers, would rather deal with virtual girlfriends, because these virtual girlfriends are just kinder and nicer to them. And like I said, I challenge you, do the same thing with your current girlfriend or current wife, and see who wins. I think it's a pretty decent challenge for everybody. So I expect that these reports are going to be coming out more and more and more. It looks like, just besides just ChatGPT and other regular mainstream AI robots, like Vumi, I believe, is the one that he is using, and there's a few others that are specifically designed to create virtual girlfriends. And they're saying that they have millions of accounts, millions of accounts. Again, I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised that it came sooner rather than later, and that it is now being covered by the mainstream media. And I cannot wait until there will be more and more and more reports. So, stay tuned, because I love this topic. I've made many videos about it, and I will continue posting, keeping you guys posted on this as well. If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.